Over the course of the last few months, we have taken a pretty big project of changing our entire way that we're thinking about doing IT costing back to the agencies, and got a tool that would help us to be able to facilitate that new cost model. You know, over that project, we're trying really to demystify the cost model and the prices that our customers pay for services. Because quite simply, if they don't understand where the prices are, and they think that they are not getting a value for the services that we provide, there's no way that they're ever going to be happy with the service that they're getting from us. So trying to solve that very fundamental transparency issue is really important for us. The tool also is going to help us internally by giving us better, more real-time information about profit and loss of services. We can make better decisions about whether or not to expend money or not to expend money in current fiscal years, or push off programs to later times, and hopefully just speed up the financial process in general, get our bills out quicker, be more responsive, and just a better services organization. As for the biggest challenge, I would say that we have the opportunity in state government to do a lot of different things: cloud computing, big data, mobile, and even other sort of less cool things like procurement modernization and figuring out how to get rid of some legacy systems. That all takes time, and we're all constrained by limited resources. So the biggest challenge is just figuring out what's the best thing for the state of Kansas, and having a laser focus on solving a subset of the larger issues that we see as things that we could be spending our time on. Well, I think that comes down to building partnerships and having honest conversations with the local governments. There's things that we do really well, there's things that they do really well. We should find those synergies, and we should accentuate our strengths and also accentuate their strengths and work together to solve problems. I'll give you a quick example. We're going to be working with one of our larger counties, and they're going to provide us some data center space for one of our big transformation projects. So we get out of the business of running data centers, and we take up some of their space that they have a free capacity for right now. It's a win-win. Hopefully in time that we'll be able to provide them some other services to kind of pay them back for the good favor that they're giving. But those type of mutual partnerships are going to be, you know, the only way that we can continue to survive the challenges of government IT. We have an opportunity to innovate and to get real change happening in government. You know, it could be anything down the list of things we talked about before, but when it really comes down to it, that we have the chance to make government better. We can make our services to our citizens more accessible, and overall we can just improve the way that government works. We can use technology to do all of that, and you know, it's hard not to be passionate about being able to make government better. We're going to continue our path towards consolidation of services that make sense. A service desk, email, other things that are common to all of our agencies and that we can provide universally to everyone. Additionally, we're going to have a big project of creating our own private government cloud in Kansas. We're going to stand up hardware, and we're going to revolutionize the way that we're providing infrastructure to our agencies. That's going to be kicking off really soon. It's going to be one of those really great opportunities that we're going to have to change the face of IT in Kansas. That's a really good question, and it's probably the hardest one that you can possibly ask me. I think that it comes down with leadership and vision. Leaders have to embrace the idea that we're going to innovate, and you have to be able to articulate a vision and strategy that allows for that to happen. Then you have to empower your employees to feel free to think outside of the box. if they're the people that are going to innovate. I can think up strategy and I can articulate that in the vision of the organization, but I have to have the employees that are doing the heavy lifting to embrace the idea that they are free to innovate. Now that means that you have to let them go out and maybe get out of their comfort zone, maybe get to the point where there might be a failure. Leadership has to recognize that and has to then minimize the failure and then give them encouragement to keep trying and to keep innovating and to keep moving down this change. And if we foster that culture, I think that we're going to be able to see a lot of really, really neat transformative changes. So I see cloud being sort of the external cloud that we go and we partner with third-party providers to provide services. The first big software as a service consolidated centralized service that we're offering is moving to a new service desk model that's hosted in the cloud. We're going to continue that movement here shortly with moving our electronic mail into a cloud-based messaging platform that we're currently working through the procurement process with, so I can't really divulge any more information. Then you pivot and you think about what we can do to provide cloud services internally to Kansas. I talked about it earlier, but we're going to be moving towards that Kansas private government cloud, where we're going to be hosting the infrastructure for our agencies. We're going to be building that from scratch. We're going to be using some really neat, new, modern technologies, and we're going to be that service provider for our agencies and have them consume services that we provide. So our cloud strategy really focuses on what makes sense that we keep, and then what makes sense that we look towards the external cloud.